Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. And today we continue our Progress Faction Talisman series with a hero that completely changed the battlefield from the moment he arrived into the Dominion. Julius? One of the most important tanks in Hero Wars, Alliance. One of the safest frontline heroes in the game. And for many players, one of the only tanks that truly feels reliable inside the current meta. Because Guardians, surviving the battlefield nowadays is not easy. The game became faster. Damage became more explosive. Control became more oppressive. And yet somehow Julius continues standing there in the middle of all the chaos, protecting his team while entire enemy compositions crash against his shields over and over again. That is why this discussion matters. Because when a hero becomes this important, every stat matters. Every optimization matters. Every talisman decision matters. And today we answer one very important question. Is Julius VIP talisman actually worth paying for? Or is the first talisman already enough? Now before we begin, Guardians, let's quickly remind ourselves why talismans are so important in the first place, because this system changes something no other progression system truly changes. Flexibility. Once your glyphs are upgraded, they stay there. Once your skins are upgraded, they stay there. Once your artifacts are upgraded, they stay there. But talismans allow adaptation. They allow you to slightly reshape your hero depending on the battle in front of you. And sometimes that small difference completely changes how a fight develops. That is why this series exists. Not simply to say this talisman good or this talisman bad. We want to understand the hero, the battlefield role, the skill scaling, the stat interactions, and the situations where one talisman becomes stronger than another. And as always, Guardians, remember that whenever we discuss talisman stats, we always mention the fixed stat first and the rerollable stat second. So now, let's move directly into Julius, the king of progress frontline stability. A tank whose entire identity revolves around protection, sustain and shield cycling. Julius does not need flashy mechanics to dominate the battlefield because his value comes from something much more important. Consistency. He stabilizes teams. He protects carries. He cleanses pressure. And he allows extremely aggressive damage dealers behind him to function safely. That alone makes him one of the most valuable heroes in the game. Now let's begin with his first talisman. The Talisman of Pawsitivity. This talisman originally arrived as a paywall talisman during the first Talisman Fever events and comes with strength as the fixed main stat, and armor penetration as the rerollable secondary stat. And Guardians, immediately we run into something strange. Armor penetration on a tank. At first glance that feels very awkward because Julius is not supposed to be a damage dealer. His purpose is surviving, shielding and protecting allies. So naturally many players immediately question why armor penetration exists here at all. But before judging it too quickly, let's continue. Julius' second talisman is the Talisman of Purrfection. And this one is also a VIP talisman that originally cost 1100 VIP points during release. It comes with physical attack as the fixed main stat and toughness as the rerollable secondary stat. Now immediately, Guardians, this feels much more natural for Julius. Physical attack directly strengthens shield scaling and multiple parts of his kit, while toughness helps him survive incoming pressure much more efficiently. So already the second talisman starts looking extremely attractive. But now comes the real question. Is it worth paying for? Or is the first talisman already enough? And like always, Guardians, we answer that through two major factors: skill scaling and battlefield role. So first, let's look at Julius' skills. When we analyze his kit, something becomes very obvious very quickly. Most of Julius' important abilities scale directly from physical attack. That means the more physical attack Julius has, the stronger his shields become, the stronger his sustain becomes, and the more effective his overall battlefield presence becomes. Now let's compare the talismans directly. The first talisman provides roughly 2000 physical attack value through its strength scaling. The second talisman, around 8000. That difference is massive. And immediately the Talisman of Purrfection gains a huge advantage because Julius fundamentally wants stronger shields more than anything else. His job is not damage. His job is keeping the team alive. And that leads perfectly into the second factor: battlefield role. Julius is a tank. A shield tank specifically. Everything about him revolves around absorbing pressure and stabilizing the battlefield for his allies. He does not need armor penetration to succeed because we are not asking Julius to kill enemies himself. We are asking him to survive long enough for the rest of the team to destroy the battlefield safely behind him. And that is exactly why the Talisman of Purrfection feels so much cleaner for his overall identity. Physical attack strengthens his shields. Toughness improves survivability. Both stats directly contribute toward what Julius actually wants to accomplish during battles. Now compare that with the Talisman of Pawsitivity. Yes, the 80,000 extra armor penetration is very useful. Very useful. Especially inside longer fights where raw durability matters. And strength itself is still valuable because it contributes some physical attack and survivability simultaneously. But armor penetration simply feels wasted on him in most situations. Those stats could have gone towards something much more useful defensively. So from a pure optimization perspective, Purrfection clearly wins. It buffs his core mechanics harder. It improves shield effectiveness more. And it reinforces his battlefield role much more naturally. But there is another very important factor here, Guardians. Accessibility. Because while Purrfection is clearly the stronger talisman overall, it is still a VIP talisman, and therefore much harder for most players to obtain consistently. Meanwhile, the Talisman of Pawsitivity is now available through the Eternal Frontier Merchant for 700,000 coins, whenever it rotates into the shop. And that changes the discussion massively. Because suddenly players have access to a very solid Julius talisman completely free to play over time. And Guardians, let's be very clear here. Pawsitivity is not bad. Not even close. 2000 strength and 80,000 health still create a very strong frontline tank. Julius remains fantastic with it equipped and will continue protecting teams extremely well. So for many players, especially free-to-play and medium spending accounts, the smartest decision is probably very simple. Equip Pawsitivity. Build your Julius. Use him confidently. And wait patiently for Purrfection to become more available later. Because even if the second talisman is better overall, the first one is already strong enough to make Julius one of the best tanks in the entire game. And that says a lot about how powerful Julius truly is. So Guardians, Where do we stand overall? The Talisman of Purrfection is clearly the stronger optimization choice for Julius because physical attack and toughness perfectly reinforce his shield tank identity and massively improve his battlefield consistency. But the Talisman of Pawsitivity remains an extremely solid alternative thanks to its huge health increase and free accessibility through Eternal Frontier. And for many players, that will already be more than enough. So Guardians, now we want to hear from you. Which Julius talisman are you using? Have you noticed a big difference between the two? And do you think the VIP talisman is worth the investment? Let us know below because these discussions always help the entire community understand heroes better. And of course, tell us which progress hero you want us to analyze next because the engineers still have many dangerous heroes waiting inside this talisman series. Stay tuned, stay sharp. And as always, salute and friendship.